Forgiveness is a big one. That's very important. Even for me to get back on my grind, I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself for fumbling the bag. 2021, I was up, man. I had a scheme going on. I had a rental car business. I was doing Uber, working a hella hours, and it was all adding up. I got to about 8 grand a month. But I was spending it as fast as I was getting it. First of all, what motivated me to get on the grind like that was 2020. I seen people getting a bag, man. 20 bands. And I was too afraid to take the risk at the time, so I just was chilling. 2021, I said, man, I gotta turn it up. And I did that. I had a couple things going on. The thing is, I didn't plan ahead. I'm thinking it's like this gonna last forever. We done. We made it. And I never reinvested any of the money to continue the growth. So by 2022, I started feeling real down about myself. And I just was like, oh, it was like a lot of negative self-talk. Like, how could you fumble that? I ain't gonna hold you. I fumbled like 90 bands. I ain't gonna hold you. But I was spending it so fast that I never even saw it at one time. So I was beating myself up about that, man. So I had to have a talk with myself and say, you gotta get up, man. You're all right. You fumbled. A lot of wealthy people lose it all, get it back, lose it all a couple times. You learned your lesson. You know what you did wrong. Now it's time to get back on the grind and do it legit this time. So that's how I got to this point. After I forgave myself for that, I got back on my grind and I started building things back up. And that's the path I'm on right now. And forgiveness is required in a lot of areas in your life, like even with my mom before she passed away. I wasn't really like answering the phone for her like that, because it was just a lot for me. It was overwhelming for me. You know, the year she passed, that summer, we were at a cookout, and she was just dancing around. She was drunk, dancing around. She was like, "You better come dance with me. I'm not gonna be here forever." And I was like, no. So I sat there for a while. She kept dancing. Something just told me, man, get up. You better go dance with your mom. This might be your last time. So I got up, I danced, we danced. Everybody, wow, yay, we dancing, everybody laughing, having a great time with us. All right, it was fun. And sure enough, at the end of the year, she was out of here. But that dance was the forgiveness. There was no conversation about everything that happened in my upbringing or nothing like that. The dance was the conversation. And that was the forgiveness for me. I felt at peace because I got to dance with her one last time. Yeah, so throughout the grieving process, it wasn't heavy for me. It was because I was at peace. I made my peace, and I forgave her for everything. You know, and that led me to start working on forgiving Pops, you know, for not being there like that. And not keeping us in a traditional household, you know, but it all worked out. I wouldn't be the man I am today without everything that happened in my past. And throughout all this, I learned that it's very important to practice forgiveness. At some point, you got to forgive and let it go. In order for you to go up, you got to get rid of the baggage. You got the excess weight. You got to get it off you. And I really believe forgiving yourself can be the first step. Forgiving yourself for your failures, forgiving yourself for the missteps, forgiving yourself for not knowing the information, right? Not being so hard on yourself because you didn't know. Going through the experience gave you the knowledge moving forward to make better choices in whatever situation that is.